Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Boise State Esports Arena. And we are here to bring you Week 3 of PEC Overwatch. And let me tell you, I could not be more excited to bring this to you. Boise State coming off a bye week after they should have played Michigan State, but they don't have an Overwatch team. So there was no one for Boise State to fight last week. However, we're coming in strong for this week of Overwatch, playing against a new contender in the PEC, being Baylor. And I do have to ask you, AJ, how do you think Boise State is going to sort of bounce back, not only from an unexpected bye, but also a little bit of a rough loss to Syracuse in their Week 1 2 weeks ago?
So I actually did a little bit of an interview with our team's coach, Doc Haskell. We love the guy. Just last time we had played against Syracuse, it was 2 weeks ago on the 1st, so it's been a little while. But after talking to him, I learned a few important factors. For one, he pointed out the fact that Syracuse, they played very well as a group and did very, very well with targeting specific players. They went after the healers and the DPS very efficiently, and that made it very hard for our team to be able to win those fights. In fact, he gave me very specific numbers. He said between all 3 games, there were 34 fights. They had lost 24 of them, and they had won 10. And most of the time, it was just because there was an early pick onto one of the team's players. And so they had a really hard time making that stability that they really needed. Along with that, there's a bit of a switch up in rosters. And sometimes, if you're not used to what exactly the team is going to be, what they're going to have in terms of players or characters, it can be a little jarring. And that was a pretty big thing for the team to deal with last time. So that was really taken into consideration, and they've been doing a lot to prepare in advance. They've had 2 weeks, in fact. Like you said, they were supposed to go against Michigan last time, and it didn't end up working out, so they've had a lot of time to prepare. In general, Doug Haskell told me a couple important things. One, I have a specific quote from him, where he says, "Our goal is to win every fight. It is our job." Slightly paraphrased, but you get the point. Basically, that just means they're going to do their absolute best to win every single fight they possibly can. But if they lose, they're just going to keep pushing. They treat every fight as if it's its own game, and they're going to play that to the best of their ability today.
Yeah, and that's the best way to go about it. New week, new team, new ways to play the game.
Don't let it get you down.
Yeah, don't let it get you down. But in Week 3 of Overwatch, PEC saw the emergence of the Big 3 atop of the standings as 3 schools advanced to 2-0, only dropping 1 map total. Kansas jumped all over Baylor with a 3-0 sweep of their own as the Jayhawks moved to 2-0. The Jayhawks have dropped only 1 round all season and look very strong. Syracuse showed their upset of Boise State as a no fluke as the Orange took down Utah 3-1. Throughout the series, it was very tight. Utah's Teddy Upaya led the way with 49 kills. But the Orange were too strong to pair with Syracuse players Mac Cub and Azer1, both posing strong score lines as the duo pushed through the Orange to their 2nd straight win. Ohio State took care of Nebraska 3-0 and was a massive day for the Buckeyes as Mafia dropped an insane 82-1-2 scoreline, including a perfect 29-0 in their final match of the series.
I don't think I've ever seen 1-2 in my lifetime. That is insane.
Yeah, and it'll be really interesting to see how these players are going to be going up against Boise State. Like you were saying, they've had quite a bit of time to grow, and I am really excited to see it. But before that, we actually have a man on the street interview. Let's see how much our Boise State players know about Baylor.
And then another new addition for this year.
Oh, Baylor's in?
I know what it is. I don't know where they are.
Brigham Young University.
It's Baylor.
Okay, it's Baylor, yes. Where is Baylor?
Wyoming.
Nevada.
Take a big guess. A big guess.
Texas.
There you go. Where in Texas?
Let's go a nice hub of industry here. Let's go Detroit.
Baylor is in Wisco, Texas.
You're so close. Change a vowel.
Oh, Wisco or Wesco.
Waco?
Hey, you got it. Okay.
Wacko. Welcome to Wacko.
Baylor, welcome to the PEC. We welcome you with open arms. I'm sure you feel very, very welcome right now.
What's up, my fellow wackos?
And speaking of our players, here is our Overwatch roster for tonight. We have Jonathan Foraker, Cannon Miller, Carter Jones, Will Hess, Jenny Cummins, and Amanda Bailey, a team that we have grown to know pretty well over the past 2 years, and I cannot wait to see them in action tonight.
Oh, we got it.
Oh, yeah, and we also have Mark Thana and, of course, our very own Doc Haskell.
Hey, we don't want to leave anyone out of the roster here. These are all very important.
Yeah, and you know what else is really important? Doc's keys to the game.
Wow.
In Overwatch, win 1v1s, never take a fair fight. The objective is always more important than kills, and understand your comp and play style. All of this, of course, brought to you by Blue Ribbon Painting. Hey esports fans, while you're here cheering for the best in gaming, let us introduce you to the MVPs of painting, Blue Ribbon Painting. With over 90 years of combined experience, we are proud to be Boise's go-to team of local multi-generational painters who know exactly how to level up your home. Ready to transform your space? Visit blueribbonpainting.net to schedule your free estimate. And it does look like we have our picks and bans for the first match, or for the first map. It's going to be Lijiang Tower, one of my personal favorites, but not something you want to see if you're Boise. It is a Wrecking Ball ban. That is not what we were expecting round one.
What, is it really something we weren't expecting? I mean, okay, maybe just personally, I'm always expecting a Wrecking Ball ban. Just because you know as well as I do, our team loves Wrecking Ball. Strider basically always plays Wrecking Ball. It's the go-to, right? So I'm usually expecting one, but I guess I can't always be surprised when I don't see one.
Yeah, so a ban on Symmetra as well is also going to shake up the movement on this map as well. That teleport is an incredible piece of utility to get an entire team into a spot it has no right to be when it does. So it'll be really interesting to see how they play without these two really good characters, especially for a map with so many ways to fall off of it like Lijiang. We have seen Wrecking Ball sort of emerge in the pro scene and a little bit more in popularity over the past few months, so it does make a little bit more sense with the ban there, but it'll be interesting to see how these guys play. I remember looking at some of Baylor's favorite characters, and I remember seeing Winston as one of them, and that could be a pretty good way to shake up the meta. The only issue with Winston is that there's a lot of ways that you can counter him very easy.
I do still think the Symmetra ban is an interesting one, because me personally, I only ever see Symmetra get played at the very start of a game. Obviously, Lijiang, we see it a little bit more. In general, I don't
Round
play her,
one.
so getting
Capture
banned
the
on
objective.
her is always a little interesting.
Does look like we're going to control center as we start round one, and it does look like the Mauga is getting brought out, and I believe that is Boise State, our very own Strider. I was correct. The Mauga coming out pretty good into the very dive-heavy compositions that have been played. Casta on the Venture, trying to get around. Doesn't really find anything, is unfortunately put in the crosshair, and Maxwell's going to find two. Tox, Foxbox, TTV, and Casta both fall as Strider finishes off Soviet Lemon. Radic not quite able to get away as Maxwell cleans it up well. Clear with the final pick onto Maz, gives Boise State the first capture of the match.
What a fantastic start. It's always such a good idea to be able to get a good, well, obviously you always want to do well, but being able to start off really well is so powerful because it gets that motivation going and gets that energy rolling.
This is a really hard composition if you're playing, if you are Baylor right now, you're kind of going into an uphill battle. The thing is, Strider can burn through just about every piece of utility you have, so the thing is, you want to take him out quick, but unfortunately for Soviet Lemon, no one's going to be around to back him up. Strider moving on to try and protect his Tracer. Clear is able to get out of there alive. Maxwell trying to find something, goes down low, but Costa finds him and picks up Clear as well before falling to Strider. But this just goes to show, Mauga is a brick wall, and if you don't do anything about that brick wall, it's just going to fall right on top of you. And
well, they are doing something about that brick wall. They switched to Orisa. Soviet Lemon potentially looking for something that'll work better. Starting off with a great stun. We'll see how this ends up working better against the Mauga.
Yeah, Boise State's playing so far away from each other, they can't really collapse onto one person like they'd want to. However, Boise State can do just that to Soviet Lemon as he goes down incredibly early. Wu Yang gets taken out as well, along with the Kiriko. All the supports are gone, and that is free kills for Strider and Maxwell, cleaning up Baylor. Just, they are really struggling to find any meaningful picks onto any of Boise State's key players. Lyric and Hex on the support classes just have, they basically had absolutely zero pressure this entire game. And like we're seeing here, Clear has been able to get into the backline and do so much with so little. Strider just getting right up in the face of Soviet Lemon, pushing him all the way back to his own spawn.
Wow.
Not quite able to finish out the kill, but Baylor does have two more, almost has three ultimates to work with. Boise State can respond in kind, which is a scary thought if you are Baylor.
I'm noticing the team is focusing the tank so hard, and that makes it so hard for Baylor to continue pushing forward. if their one tank can't even do anything.
Yeah, that's the thing about Mauga. You can pretty much run right up to the tank and do so much damage, and
yeah,
as you're
there
looking,
she
Clear is
goes.
going to take out most of the back line as
Good
Boise
stuff.
State takes the first point of map 1.
Such
Halfway
an
to victory.
efficient way to get through that first matchup. I really want to focus on that Mauga play, just because they started with the Zarya, obviously, but then switching to the Orisa, you can just see how much damage is being pumped out, even with the Kitsune Rush being placed down. Just that health bar is getting melted the entire time. Keeping the pressure high on that tank, you're not going to be able to push forward if you're constantly being attacked the entire time.
And you know, I do think that the Orisa swap was a good idea. I like the premise of it. The damage reduction you get from Fortify, and also being able to delete bullets with your Javelin spin is a good way to close the distance.
Especially because that's all Mauga does with his bullets.
Yeah. However, when you have Mauga, who's really good at just burning through tanks, and then you have a player like Clear and like Maxwell who can get behind you and take out your supports, you have nothing keeping that tank up. That's the win condition for Boise State. Baylor really needs to find a way to get their backline into a safe position. But with Strider right up there, they're forced to use their Suzu. Soviet Lemon gets taken down. Toxbox is also going to fall as well. Strider running laps around the backline with a little bit of help from Hex. Lyric manages to finish off Costa, and the first capture is going to go to Boise State.
Yeah, there's just so much good synergy with the team right now. We are seeing another switch up in tanks. Now Soviet Lemon has switched over to the Doomfist. Maybe hoping for more mobility to avoid getting just completely melted.
You know,
by
it's
the
an
Mauga.
interesting choice. If you go fully ham-fisted into diving on Boise State's backline, there just won't be a ton that they can do. However, with how split they're being forced to play by Clear, like we're watching it right here, just not able to all get into the same spot. They try to pile on Clear, but he's so fast he can get away. Strider moving to go around. We have Maxwell kind of baiting them, almost begging them to go, and we got Strider on the flank trying to get something done. He's sitting up there on high ground, just burning through. Hex and Lyric trying to keep him up, doing a really good job, but Soviet Lemon can't say the same about his. Costa's gonna find Lyric, but at the end, they are down a tank. Toxbox is trying to stay up. Everybody in this room is low, and they are just getting mulched by the machine gun. Clear and Hex gonna finish it out. Boise State, halfway to victory.
Strider even pushing towards the spawn with the backup of the rest of the team. They're just trying to keep them busy so they can get the rest of this, get the rest of the charge on that point. You see Costa switching over to Cassidy. Toxbox over to the Ana. They're switching up this roster so much. Is it actually going to do anything for them?
Thing is, it might, but with so much mobility, the pulse bomb does come out. Unfortunately, it falls on the Doomfist, which is going to be negated. His power block can negate over 80% of damage. Strider does get stuck on the Mauga. Kitsune Rush is forced out from Baylor, but he's just able to get out of there. There's so much mobility from Boise State. Baylor isn't really able to get him into a spot where they are uncomfortable, which is really what they're trying to do here with the Cassidy and the Doomfist, trying to make them play uncomfortably. Diving on Maxwell, Soviet Lemon tries to get something done, but a little help from Hex, it's going to get out. Both the Cage and Kitsune Rush are dropped by Strider and Lyric, and it's going to be enough to finish some stuff off. Clean play out of Boise State, and that is going to be the first point to them.
That was such a fast win. Absolutely incredible. I'm definitely noticing that what Coach Haskell had told me about that targeting and about focusing specific people is really going into effect this game so far. They were going hard on making sure they took down those DPSs and took down all the supports while they just had a tank fight going back and forth. We saw that a lot from Maxwell here on the Sojourn. I'd be watching that kill feed and they'd constantly be just efficient right clicks taking down some of the squishier heroes.
Yeah, but also something I want to point out from Maxwell is that his ability to draw all of their attention was sublime, and we saw it on that second map. He was sitting there on the left side high ground, and it baited the entire Baylor team up to that high ground to contest him. They were looking at him like, we got to get him, we got to get him. The issue is when you put all of your chips in one bag, you go all in on an A7 in a way. You let Boise State wrap around and give them the space to do pretty much whatever they want. The ball ban is a really good way to make a team that feels super mobile a little bit uncomfortable. Wrecking Ball is one of the most mobile tanks in the game, only beaten out by maybe Doomfist, and that is how you That's really how you make them feel uncomfortable. But you know someplace that you'll feel very comfortable with Boise State Extended Studies. Get your degree on a schedule that works for you. Boise State Extended Studies offers a variety of fully online courses and degrees to help you get your degree on your schedule. Visit boisestate.edu/extended studies for more details.
Something that's concerning me so far, at least for the Bears' perspective, is the fact that I feel like they're almost panicking already. We're only in the first game, or we just finished the first game, that is, and they were doing so much roster switching. I pointed that out during that second round. They were just switching characters over and over and over again. I pointed out the Cassidy, and then he was gone just like that. And it's like, I'm really, really worried for their sake that they just don't really know how to go up against Boise State's roster.
Oh, looks like we do have our next picks and bans, and it does look like it's going to be a Lucio Winston ban. We saw the benefit of Lucio with Strider, definitely making use of that speed boost. Hex is one of the better Lucio players, being able to speed his tank in and out, and it takes the less mobile tanks and makes them into hyper mobile. And it's really going to be interesting to see how they play around us. The Winston ban is a little bit more surprising for a map like Kings Row, but I do think it is going to inspire a little bit more brawly tactics, a little bit more beat 'em up instead of the hop around.
I do see a decent amount of Winstons on this map, but
Even though it's the Reinhardt map.
even though it is the Reinhardt map, and I never see Reinhardt's, because no doubt we're going to be seeing Strider back on the Wrecking Ball. In terms of the rest of the team's roster, it really depends. But you know, we love Strider spinning around the central statue. It's everyone's favorite thing to watch. So I don't think that Winston ban will be too pressing for them. But I do think that Lucio ban will cause a little bit of trouble. So maybe we'll go back to seeing something like the Brigitte and Ana duo. That
However, with Wu Yang, the new hero, we've been seeing a lot of Wu Yang out of both teams.
Baylor
so
loves playing Wu Yang.
Yeah, Baylor, I'd honestly wager that every team likes Wu Yang.
Oh,
I have
obviously.
not spoken to any player that does not like Wu Yang. They don't like playing against Wu Yang, but they'd like to.
But
have
if
one
he's on
their
your team, you love him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do really like how he plays as a character, especially with the interesting little detail of being able to control the projectiles with your mouse as you're firing. So he's a very unique character, but he's also he's very new, but he fits really well into the meta. So I'm honestly surprised we didn't see him at all last game.
Now, Boise State will be starting this round on attack, and it does look like Boise State is going to be rolling out with the Wu Yang, the Diva pick from Soviet Lemon. I feel like this is kind of the character that he was looking for. Over the last game, they were really struggling with the dive, really struggling with everybody coming at them at once. This is going to be what they need. Maxwell and Lyric both trying to take that off angle, quickly shut down by Soviet Lemon. No kill is found, but Costa and Maz forced out of that high ground on the left side, forced to move back. Maz trying to find something here, being shielded off, but Costa's going to go down. Same with Toxbox.
Double melee
That
kill.
is not great. Strider finding so much value off of that sideline. Clear trying to get something done, push him back just a little bit more. Maxwell's going to take out Maz and Soviet Lemon, with Clear taking the final pick. Boise State going to capture the first point and get this cart rolling.
I'm seeing Soviet Lemon doing their absolute best to keep their team alive using that defense matrix, but even then, Boise State's just able to find those projectiles landing, even through it or past it. Yeah, he was chasing down Maz earlier, trying to keep him alive, but Boise State still
Strider!
pushed through.
He's trying to come out, get something done, manages to push him off, give Boise State a little bit more time to push the cart. Clear is getting chased off by Soviet Lemon, but both of them are taking quite a bit of damage, kind of trading it out. Baylor is playing really far apart, trying to split Boise State's attention, sort of like what they were doing last time, but Boise State is not having it. They are playing as one unit, and they are not letting Baylor do anything with it. Pulse Bomb comes out from Clear, manages to be canceled by Soviet Lemon, but he's kind of being forced onto this weird off angle and not really able to protect it, as Strider manages to pick Costa before the fight even really begins.
Speaking of Strider, we see that minefield at the ready. That could be very good at keeping the pressure high on the team. Maxwell goes down, but two follow up on the enemy team. Toxbox, Fox, and Radic both going down. Maz quick to follow. Soviet Lemon really low on health. The team is just struggling to continue pushing, and poor Baby Diva goes down right after.
Yeah, I mean, we were watching it with Strider, just him getting right up in their face and being like, you can't play the game. Not really letting them fight on a fair playing field, just like the Doxkeys the game that we saw earlier. Never take a fair fight. Costa trying to get something done here, manages to get taken down low by Clear, but not before Clear gets out of there just fine. This ability to really stall out, you can see it on that left side. The Wrecking Ball and Tracer pick, just being able to stay really sneaky, roll right into the back line. The second Soviet Lemon goes in, he dies to Hex. and now his team has no tank and is forced to back off. This is not what you want to see if you are Baylor, just not really able to make any space. Maz losing the Tracer duel, and that's going to force them to give up even more space that they had no claim to.
Oh, the overclock coming out, winning the Sojourn battle. Giving them room to push forward. We see another switch over to the Roadhog. The Radic also goes down to the overclock. We see Tox up and ready with their ultimate too, but they just can't get out there. They are stuck in their spawn.
The Wrecking Ball, or the Roadhog, to try and slow down play just a little bit might help them out, but the issue is they need to slow down the play of 4 different players, all playing on different sides that they have not been able to pressure out. Maz trying to take that left side high ground, get something done with it, not really making any good use of the high ground. Strider taking a ring around the rosy as both Kitsune rushes go through. Coalescence from Toxbox tries to get something done, and he's off the map!
Oh,
The whip shot takes him off the map. Hex with the first environmental kill of Boise State's season. Maz gets taken down, Toxbox and Radic soon to follow, and Boise State manages to full capture this point with almost 5 minutes remaining.
That was insane. Something I do want to point out that I'm really noticing. I was pointing out the D.Va earlier and how they're doing their best. You want to know why they're struggling so much? Is because Wrecking Ball is such a good counter to D.Va because his ability to just bowl into people like we're seeing here in this lovely replay, that ignores the defense matrix, so he can just push right past everyone. And so I'm thinking that's a big reason why he switched away from the D.Va pick. Because obviously, Wrecking Ball shoots, he has guns. But he also he does what a Wrecking Ball does, and you can't just blip away Wrecking Ball, because that's part of his character model. So that made it so difficult, because he just couldn't keep track while getting bowled over, and he couldn't protect his team from getting bowled.
I would actually like to counter it, because while D.Va may not be a great counter to Wrecking Ball, you can mostly rely on your DPS to take care of the Wrecking Ball. The thing is, he couldn't do much about the Tracer and the Sojourn that Clear and Maxwell were running. Like, we were seeing it all throughout the fight. Maxwell was taking high ground and not letting them do anything. Clear was on the opposite side of the map pressuring out supports. And there's only so many places you can be with your defense matrix to eat a pulse bomb, to eat a railgun charge. There's only so much you can really do. And the best play for Baylor is really just to try and either take out the Wrecking Ball that's making all the space, take out the Tracer who's killing your DPS, or try to go for the supports. But they were just really struggling in getting any of that done.
Well, that's what the Roadhog is. If Roadhog can get one of those squishies hooked, that's an easy player down for the count, so that's another great reason to play on.
Yeah, Clear taking the high ground with Ash pick. Maxwell on the Torbjorn, something that we've seen him play a few times. Costa with the first kill of the match onto Lyric. Strider trying to make a little bit more space, not finding as much success as he was earlier. Toxbox getting pressured out, not really able to join the fight, trying to hunt him. Costa missed with the bowling ball, but running right back around. Maxwell with the Torbjorn up top, trying to get something done. Strider still keeping on that objective, and Soviet Lemon misses the grapple, not quite able to find anything.
He ran into the pole, that kind of screwed up his momentum. He's able to stay alive, and so is Clear, just barely getting supported by Lyric. Keeping the pressure high, almost able. Ooh, great headshot, nearly takes him down. That was so close.
Man, this is why you play Widowmaker. Ash.
Nobody plays Widowmaker.
Actually, a lot of people play Widowmaker on this map, especially
Okay, the first 5
point.
seconds does
Clear,
not
though,
count.
making it incredibly apparent why he's not playing Widowmaker, taking down 2, Toxbox and Mads both falling. Radic getting taken down incredibly low, manages to escape with a little bit of swift step action, trying to pressure out Soviet Lemon, manages to get him around, but the fire is not quite enough. Maz gets
nasty.
2 shot! Oh, that is not what you want to see if you are a Tracer player. Getting 2-tapped by Ash is never fun.
Ooh, we saw Strider stealing that health pack, a big health pack too, just to make sure they didn't have any healing options. We see a lot of ults being built up on Boise State's side. They've got a lot of resources to work with.
Yeah, something I'd like to point out, look at what Boise State is really doing. Look at where they are positioned. They have got Baylor so split that they can't really form a great push. Like Strider up on the left side along with Lyric, Bob getting thrown out by Clear. Just not enough space to make Baylor trying to regroup on that high ground right behind Soviet Lemon, but with Soviet Lemon all by himself, there's
good
not much
stuff.
he can do. The Bob manages to take him out, and now the rest of the team is trying to get something done. Maxwell repairing his turret, hoping to keep it alive. Minefield ready to go. Kitsune Rush out. Is Strider going to use it here? No, he's not, but both Kitsune Rushes are out. Hex gets taken down by Radic, but Maxwell takes down Toxbox, and that's going to be enough to take down Costa as well. Looks like Soviet Lemon is back on the Doomfist, but nothing gets found by it.
Man, I was fully ready to see that minefield get dropped, but it seems he knew he didn't need it. He just kept bullying into Tox and just kept smacking him. It drops the minefield in the corner.
He knows that he's not going to need it, so he's going to grow him for later. He planted the seeds for a good minefield. He's going to see him either at the end of this one or at the start of the next one.
This has to be the stupidest analogy you've ever made. About
Hey, I've made some stupid analogies, but Maxwell taking down Radic isn't stupid in the slightest. Oh, Soviet Lemon almost getting bowled over, but unluckily for him, Lyric took the kill first. Strider not even gonna bother with Toxbox. He's just gonna run right up to Costa and Maz. Not gonna stop Costa from getting a pick though before finally going down. Maxwell manages to find Maz as Boise State just continues to put them in this barrel.
It's just a war on multiple fronts. They're just keeping the pressure high in so many different directions. They don't know how to fight against it. You see that especially from Strider.
It's like when 3 people go up to your cat and they all go pss, 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 pss.
What if
The
I
cat
don't
just
have a
does not
cat?
know where to look. You gotta fix your life and get a cat.
I can't. We're not arguing about this right now.
Coalescence
Strider with a crazy pile driver. That was insane.
Coalescence comes out from Toxbox trying to find something. Maz swaps over to the Freya instead of the Tracer. Realizes maybe the Tracer duel is not quite worth it. Hex trying to pressure him out. Diva is forced back. Soviet Lemon not really sure where to go. Has to leave Toxbox all by himself right behind the statue as Soviet Lemon is forced up to the high ground.
5 seconds left on the clock. They haven't even touched the point. They've only got a few seconds left to work with, but Strider just pushing them all away from the point, and they're not able to make it forward. Boise State getting 3 points, 4.5 minutes on the clock. Baylor can't even touch it.
Clean play out of Boise State, being able to keep Baylor in a spot where they just could not. They just didn't really know where to go.
Yeah, I wouldn't know where to go. There were
looked
so
like-
many things.
They looked like
so many times.
they looked like a lost kid in Walmart. Like, where do I look? Where is my parents? Where do I go? And it's like, how are you supposed to really counteract that? Like, Strider being able to be in 4 different places at once really put a hindrance on how much Soviet Lemon can do. Whether he was on Roadhog or Diva, it didn't really matter because he could not be in every place at once like a Wrecking Ball can.
And the interesting thing about King's Row is it's got a lot of like windows and doors you can peek through. And so if you're playing somebody like Roadhog, you could go for the hook, but they have so many points of cover they can hide behind. And even using all those different openings with Boise State's like dive and brawl compositions that they like running, they just always are able to run around. They're so mobile. They just get around so quickly. It's hard to keep track of them. It's hard to chase them down, especially without running into another player at the same time.
Yeah, and we'd also like to give a big thank you to one of our sponsors, Idaho Air National Guard. What if you could pursue college and/or your dream career while serving your country and getting amazing benefits? The Idaho Air National Guard, just 1 weekend a month, 8 months out of the year. You'll get tuition assistance, signing bonus, healthcare, zero-down home loans, and high-tech job training, all while keeping your civilian life, job, and goals right here in Idaho. Whether you're studying, working, or building your future, the Guard enhances it all while giving your leadership skills and lifelong connections. Ready to have it all? The Idaho Air National Guard is your pathway to education, career success, and purpose.
You know, going off of what I had mentioned in between the first and second game was the idea that Baylor's kind of panicking a lot. And I'm definitely noticing they are starting to get an understanding of what they're going up against and an understanding of how to combat it. But they seem to be really unsure of who they want to play and how to work it well. Because Boise State never had to switch their comp because there were so few deaths on their team. So they basically couldn't. But also they just never really needed to. And yet, once again, I have seen Baylor switching their comp many times. So it's like they just don't really know what to do and how to go up against Boise State.
It does look like what could be our final set of picks and bans is coming out, and it's going to be Push on Esperanza with Zarya and Tracer banned. Zarya we saw a little bit at the beginning. We saw a little bit of Baylor playing them, kind of run over by the Malga comp. But the Tracer is a really good one for both sides. Tracer has kind of been a linchpin of both of their strategies. Clear has kind of been tearing up the field on Tracer. So it'll be interesting to see how this really affects the game. The current playstyle of Boise State is to divide and conquer, take those 1v1s, win those 1v1s, and then help your teammates win theirs. So it'll be interesting to see how the loss of a hypermobile character like Tracer affects them. Are they going to play Genji? Are they going to play Sombra?
Yeah,
How's it going to go?
We know Clear isn't a one-trick pony, that's for sure. He knows all kinds of different DPS characters. So while it does take away his main, that doesn't take away his ability to serve his team really well. Because I've seen him play other characters, and I've seen him play them well. So I know that this shouldn't be too much of a hindrance for them. And especially because we know Strider's going to be back on the Wrecking Ball. Our support comp is likely going to be the same. Most of the other stuff is going to be the same. I don't think there should be too much of an issue for Boise State. Just be a little bit of a thorn in their side, and they have to play a little bit differently than normal.
Well, also, Baylor has had 2 maps to really figure out their strategy. It's like you were saying a little bit earlier. We saw a lot of swaps in the first map. We saw significantly less in the second. We didn't see the Cassidy come out. We saw the Doomfist come out for a little bit, but not too much fooling around on that one compared to the first one. So it'll be interesting to see how this evolves. Are they going to play the characters they're more comfortable with? Are they going to maybe make the Cassidy work to try to stop the momentum from Boise State in its tracks? Are they going to maybe mirror the Wrecking Ball? We don't know. We have no idea what they're capable of. Maybe Tox Box Fox, he's been playing support all game. Maybe he comes out on the Wrecking Ball for the one time.
Maybe. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we saw Cassidy. Just considering push maps are always a lot more open, a lot bigger, like really long ways you can shoot down. And Cassidy, he's a mid-range character, so that gives him a lot of room to make those shots happen. So I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we saw him at a certain point. Hey, look at right there! I called it! I called it! We are also seeing a soldier, which is
yeah, a little bit of a.
Actually, this is like a complete switch up in composition. We've got a Freya, a soldier, a Mercy. Like, I have not seen this before. The only thing that's the same is Strider on the Wrecking Ball, so I'm really curious, where's this going to go?
Well, I can tell you exactly how this is going to go for Boise State. This is going to help them even more. Like, look at this. Costa getting taken out immediately with help from just about everyone. That Mercy is able to give so many different people the ability to deal a ton of damage in an incredibly fast amount of time. Strider is going to get slept, but it's not really going to matter as Soviet Lemon can't really get away from Clear on Freya. Maxwell taking the top rope. I've talked to him quite a few times, and every time he likes to say, I am the best aim in NA. He has the best aim of all time, just like Hex being the best Lifeweaver. In fact, I'm a little bit surprised we didn't see him. Lifeweaver just got a Mythic skin. Why aren't we playing Lifeweaver?
I don't know what to tell you, man. We like to switch things up, I suppose. We got a big switch to comp, so you got to get used to it.
Yeah, but in order to win this, Baylor really needs to pick those 1v1s right and win them. Boise State has been able to kind of whip them in the 1v1s, if I'm being 100% honest. They need to find a way to get things done. Clear on the Freya is going to take out the turret, almost takes out Costa as well. But that's just going to let Strider push the point. He doesn't need to be doing flashy plays. He doesn't need to be he doesn't need to be the playmaker. He can just push the robot.
Well, he runs right into the good times, pulls through them, gets his shields up, and allows Clear to take your first pick on Radic. And a lot of the time, we just see Maxwell here in the back with the damage boost from Mercy. He's able to keep that long-distance pressure high.
Boise State looking to do something. Maz actually gets the pick onto Hex early. That's a big source of healing completely gone. Clear floating up in the air, trying to find another pick onto Costa. Not found. Almost. Soviet Lemon also taken down incredibly low.
Res on Hex.
But yeah, he's back in the game with a good little res. That is why you bring it. Bola comes out from the Freya. Lots of damage being taken out. Hex manages to find Radic. Lots of damage being taken out. Strider goes down to Maz. Too much damage, too little time. Daydream gets the pick onto Soviet Lemon, and the bot keeps pushing, but this fight is not over. Clear trying to get some damage on Costa, not wanting to peek it out.
That was
gets
nasty.
taken through.
Oh my
Maz
goodness.
returning the favor, taking down Hex as Boise State continues to push. Maz trying to get something done. Clear whiffs the shot, doesn't take him quite out. Maxwell getting taken for a ride by the Diva. But this is going to be forcing him out. And ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be your unbottled play of the game. Brought to you by dairy farmers and their local families. Giving us all the energy we need in order to play our best. Diva Bomb comes through. Soviet Lemon gets taken out by Visor incredibly early. Toxbox is trying to get taken down. Costa's turret gets a pick on Daydream. Best aim in the game. I know that Maxwell says that he has the best aim, but he can't beat literal auto aim from the turret.
You know, it's interesting because the one time Clear can't hard focus the turret, it's the one time it does something. Speaking of doing something, we see Strider getting hindered and slept in the middle of the minefield. He's
High
left
Noon,
alive with the
he's
High Noon
taken
onto
down.
the sleeping hamster. That is so sad.
Man, I mean, people always say that hamsters never die in normal ways, and I think this confirms the stereotype. Big damage from Clear, trying to take down one before going down himself, but Costa has too much health.
Ooh,
He's gonna force it through. Toxbox with his first, with a good kill, finishing it off.
Baylor finally starting to be able to push that robot in their favor, but even then, we see Daydream able to keep support on Maxwell. He's able to take down the turret. Hex is hurting for health, goes down, and another sleep on his Strider.
no!
The anti-heal. Oh, man.
Oh, too much damage, too little time. Hex and Strider both find themselves back in the spawn room, and the rest of Boise State is forced to back out. But it's like I was saying earlier, Baylor is finding better ways to take those 1v1s, and it is resulting in them getting a lot more momentum. Costa getting taken down low, but it's not really going to matter. Maxwell going on a little bit of an adventure. Bola comes out from Costa, but goes out and finds Costa, but Clear is also going to go down. But I mean,
the Sigma is an interesting thing.
they have Maxwell, I would say, in their back pocket, but I more would mean their back line, as he is on a little bit of an adventure and finds Toxbox.
There we go.
Big source of healing gone.
Sometimes you got to play that long game. If you're able to completely catch the team off guard, win those unexpected fights, that can be what you need. Maz goes down by Maxwell. He's on a great streak right now.
Yeah, Boise State looking to push up, get something done. Broncos are looking to find their way back towards that forward spawn, give themselves a bit of an advantage. Clear back is on the Genji for the first time. Was trying the Freya, realized it wasn't really working out. Maxwell, though, with the Soldier, trying to get the pick onto Radic, isn't quite able to find it. Soviet Lemon going down really low, and that turret is not long for this world either.
Ooh, the visor going out.
Ooh, and Captive Sun from Hex as well. Maxwell looking for something. A lot of players going down incredibly low. Diva Bomb, unfortunately, only can find Hex's turret, and down goes the robot. Soviet Lemon forced out of the mech, and that is going to be not very much defense.
Oh, that's almost a
Gravitic
full
Flux
team
comes
wipe.
through, and that's going to be it for Soviet Lemon. A complete, actually no, not a complete team wipe as
Radic did
does
survive,
get away.
but man, it's close. They just got to get this robot a few more meters, and they've got this game in the bag. If they're just able to keep him busy using the deflect, trying to take out Radic.
There's
he goes
Radic.
down.
Soviet Lemon on the Reinhardt. You love to see it, but Clear gets the anti-heal, manages to get away before anything bad can happen. Costa and Soviet Lemon both finding theirs. Maz goes down to Maxwell with only Clear left, taking the 1v1 to Toxbox. And wait. Oh, nope, the robot's pushing away.
long gone.
Yeah, the
Clear's in a
robot
tough
is long
spot.
gone. Clear was kind of in a bad position there.
Man, completely separated from the team, completely flanked on all sides. That was just a rough spot to be in. We see Maxwell getting back on the high ground, just trying to keep him busy, able to put the pressure high onto Radic.
But you know, you want to talk about a character we don't see very often. Reinhardt has not been seen in an incredibly long time, and what a welcome sight he is. Radic pops the rally, tries to take him out. Unfortunately, Soviet Lemon is not going to be long for this world. Strider trying to take the 1v3, and we're just seeing it right here. Just not quite able to find the 1v1. Soviet Lemon wasn't able to find it. Kaz manages to get the Deadeye through. Clear finds Costa. Boise State is currently up in numbers. Clear moving back, trying to take out the Toxbox, manages to find it. Boise State does have the advantage here. Soviet Lemon is alone on the point. Not a whole lot to do, but pinned right back out. But on that low of health and you're that big a target, Clear is going to hunt him through.
Do you see the Dragon Blade only onto the Reinhardt, or no? I guess not. Would have been kind of funny if you
I don't know, but Reinhardt is coming right back. Almost has Earth Shatter as well. Has a lot that he can do here.
They're very close. Robot right at the wall. They're just able to keep them off for a little bit.
Dragon
Dragon
Blade
Blade comes out, but he's not able to
Oh,
deflect against the shatter.
he whiffed it!
He
whiffed the shatter! He wasted it! And Clear does go down, but it allows Strider to get that point. Soviet Lemon not quite able to find it, and Boise State wins the series 3-0.
Having that whiffed shatter is the last thing we saw was incredible.
Yeah, who would win? The hammer that can create an earthquake or a tiny little bit of elevation. And ladies and gentlemen, the small little bit of elevation will always win. And of course your play of the game is going to be Maxwell on his little adventure in the back line, completely uncontested,
It was
finding
a very
two.
good adventure he went on. Very successful. Yeah, we saw, man, like, there were just so many good flanks, so many good picks in that last game. We saw it every single game, but definitely there at the end from the DPSs. They just kept the pressure high on all their healers, on all the enemy DPSs, and the tank just couldn't do anything about it. What a successful win, especially in contrast to how it went last time. That must have been exciting for him.
And you know, we started to see Baylor really come back in that third game. We saw them start to take the 1v1s. We saw them start to win, take the advantages. The issue was Boise State was doing it better for longer, taking those unfair fights, taking them in unexpected places, and Baylor just was not quite able to find it. But good play from both sides. It feels good to be back with Overwatch, and I cannot wait to see how it goes next week. But we would not be able to see how it goes next week if it weren't for another one of our sponsors, ICCU. Thanks to ICCU for their continued support of Boise State esports. Thanks to ICCU, Boise State esports has won multiple national championships and piled up more than 1,500 wins. ICCU, looking after your daily balance. Visit iccu.com for more information.
That was such an exciting game to watch, just in general. I loved every second of it. And obviously, I have to say, still, great job to Baylor. They still put up a really good fight, especially in that third game. During push, Boise State had gotten them all the way up there to the end, but they suddenly managed to make that comeback. As soon as the Reinhardt got brought out, you got excited about it, and I was too. That Reinhardt play really gave them a little bit of an edge they needed, but unfortunately, it just wasn't enough. Boise State had so much time to prepare, so much time to get back in the swing of things, and they really showed it today. That was incredible.
Yeah, and it gives me a lot of hope for how the season is going to go. It started off a little bit rocky, but they are just proving that they have plowed over all the sharp rocks and are ready to build a nice, smooth road to victory.
Did they use a wrecking ball to get past all the sharp rocks?
I'd call it more of a steamroller. I mean, you're rolling.
He hates me.
Like
he hates me and my joy and my whimsy.
You can say that all you want, but I can tell you what. We get a lot of joy and whimsy watching Boise State play.
Obviously.
And we hope that you guys do as well. And we also hope that you will be joining us tomorrow and Thursday as we continue our play against Baylor, Valorant on Wednesday, and a little bit of Super Smash Bros. To end out the week. I have been Bryce Jensen with my co-host AJ Pepley, and we hope to catch you guys tomorrow and for the rest of the season.
I have not seen this before. The only thing that's the same is Strider on the wrecking ball, so I'm really curious. Where's this going to go?
Well, I can tell you exactly how this is going to go for Boise State. This is going to help them even more. Like, look at this. Costa getting taken out immediately. Lots of damage being taken out. Strider goes down to Maz. Too much damage, too little time. Daydream gets the pick onto Soviet Lemon, and the bot keeps pushing, but this fight is not over. Clear, trying to get some damage on Costa, not wanting to peek it out.
That gets taken.
All playing on different sides that they have not been able to pressure out. Maz trying to take that left side high ground, get something done with it, not really making any good use of the high ground. Strider taking a ring around the rosy as both Kitsune rushes go through. Coalescence from Toxbot and Mads both falling. Radic getting taken down incredibly low, manages to escape with a little bit of swift step action, trying to pressure out Soviet Lemon, manages to get him around, but the fire is not quite enough. Maz gets nasty shot. Lyric trying to keep him up, doing a really good job, but Soviet Lemon can't say the same about his. Costa's gonna find Lyric, but at the end, they are down a tank. Toxbox is trying to stay up. Everybody in this room is low, and they are just getting mulched by the machine.